All right. So on today's episode, we are talking about Hyatt playing catch up in the non-luxury space, airlines and hotels turning their screens into ad platforms, and Delta saying travel demand is still strong even with higher fuel costs. We'll also get into how FAA is forcing flight reductions at Chicago O'Hare and a viral, you're going to stay tuned for this, a viral airplane moment that has the internet debating passenger etiquette again. Let's get into it.
Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Steve. How are
Where
you today?
are you in the world today? You've been traveling all over the globe. I think you were just in Brazil, like going through some falls last I saw. Now, where are you?
I was. Now I'm in Orange County in Southern California. I'm here for some work. So
Very nice. Well, how was the trip? Tell us. A lot of people have not been to Iguazu Falls, and you had the chance to do it. Really cool.
Yes, it was great. By the way, Brazil, amazing country. This was actually my first time to Brazil, and then we actually did a little day trip to Paraguay. So I got to knock off 2 new countries on my list. But, Brazil's amazing. The people, the food, the culture. I mean, it really was just such a wonderful experience. We were in Sao Paulo, and then we spent a good chunk of our time in Iguazu. For those that don't know, that's their famous waterfall system there that basically it's kind of the intersection of Brazil, Argentina, and Paraguay. And also what was really neat is to learn about their we actually got to go through a dam and find out how they do all like water power, like hydropower, and they've got a lot of conservation efforts. So there was a lot of green conversations that we were having while we were there. So amazing trip. If anybody that's listening gets a chance to go there, I highly recommend going to check it out, whether the Brazil side or the Argentinian side. So awesome time.
It looked just like the Jungle Cruise I took at Disney. I look exactly the same. You going underneath those falls. So
right?
No, but it looked awesome. That trip looked amazing. It made me want to go visit. So you definitely influenced me. I'm sure many others.
Yes.
Check it out. But that was great. And we had Alice on the show. Was it last week, right before you guys went? So that was cool to see and see what you guys were all up to this week. It looked like a great adventure.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So now I feel like I'm a little bit inspired with my little Jaguar inspired. This might be a leopard or a cheetah. I don't know what it is, but
one of the animals from the jungle.
One of them jungle animals. So I figured I'd come have a little bit of that inspiration while I'm back here in the main land.
Yeah, and viewers and listeners, I see you guys checking in. Lou, good to see you from Charleston. Andres is saying hello on YouTube. If you are watching, let us know where you're watching from. We always love to hear where you are in the world because we have so many people from so many different countries and continents. It's always great to see. And we like to ask questions if you're in those countries, what you're seeing when we touch some of these topics. So it's always fun to know who's watching and listening. So we got Andres in the USA. So USA is a big country, Andres. You got to let us know where you're watching from.
Yeah. Oh, so how was your week before we dive into this?
Well, my week has been busy, a lot of prep. I've got kids. I got spring break coming up next week.
Ooh.
So hitting the high seas on the Royal Caribbean, Wonder of the Seas. So if anyone's been on Wonder of the Seas, let me know your tips. But I think it's the 3rd largest cruise ship in the world right now. And I like those big ships. I know you tend to lean more towards some of the boutique ones sometimes, but I like the big ones.
I like the big ones too. There's something for everybody. And you'll have to let me know how that is. I've actually never been on a Royal Caribbean ship. So
really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked, actually.
How long is your cruise?
It's just a week.
5 days? Okay, 7 days? Okay.
Yeah, no, 5 days, Monday to Friday. They got to go back to school. So we got to come and prep, get those kids ready. But great time. I'm excited for that. So I've been prepping for it. Been getting in shape. I don't know if you guys can tell. I don't know.
Oh, we got that snatched jawline.
Good morning, hospitality fans. I don't embarrass myself out there on the pool deck. So it's been fun.
You are crazy.
I did a kettlebell workout last night. I can't even walk this morning. So it's fun.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah. Very fun.
Okay.
So a lot going on. Well, we also have a lot going on in the world of hospitality. Should we jump into those?
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and get started
today?
on some topics today? Ooh, Athens, Greece.
We got
Thank you for joining us.
Portugal. We got some great ones.
Oh, wait, Portugal. Here we go.
Yeah, I see Portugal
Oh,
watching.
Porto. Oh, hi,
Mhm.
Nancy. That's my Aunt Nancy. By the way, for anybody that's in Porto, Portugal, I'm going to do a plug for you, Nancy, Auntie Nancy. She actually plays in the orchestra in Porto. So if you happen to be visiting Porto, you should absolutely make a chance to take the time to go check out the orchestra there. And she is first chair, second violin. So
Oh wow, we need some like maybe sign off music with her violin. That would be cool.
yeah, we do. What is fun to see. But
That'd
anyway,
be cool. Well, I love seeing everybody watching, especially if you're on YouTube. Give us a shout out, give us a thumbs up, let us know you're here, and we'll get into the show. If you got questions while we're going, let us know.
let us know. Okay, great. So first up here, we are talking about our friends over at Hyatt. Hyatt is sort of playing a catch-up game, so to speak, with non-luxury brands. So for those that might be familiar, they're basically expanding non-luxury and mid-scale brands to grow in smaller markets. This move is really kind of meant to close the gap between competitors like Marriott and Hilton that already dominate that sort of mid-scale space. What was really interesting is that wherever Hyatt tends to be, they tend to have like wherever Hyatt tends to be, they tend to have 4 hotels in that market versus Marriott or Hilton, where they typically have 14. So they have a very different approach to just to their visibility and where they are. But again, they've historically been very focused on luxury and upscale brands. So this is an interesting sort of shift for them.
Oh, it's true. And I see it just in here in Miami. I'm thinking about it. They're trying to make a big push on these brands at Hyatt Studios, which is their extended stay brand. Hyatt Select, which is like a conversion-friendly brand targeting independent or competitor flagged hotels. So like, come on over, keep your standards, join our Hyatt Select. And then Unscripted by Hyatt, so like a soft lifestyle brand that lets operators keep their brand as well. So they're trying to break in, but I see it now. Like they have the Hyatt Andaz, they have the Grand Hyatt that's being built, they have the Hyatt Downtown Convention Center, right? So they have all those here, but you don't really see those mid-scale. And so they're really trying to make a big push. And it's, when you have these kind of brands, you can convince other operators, keep your identity, but come join Hyatt Engine. And so I'm curious to see if they're able to do that and how fast they do that, because it's really competitive with all of the hotels now and so many brands that we talk about on our show to see how and what Hyatt will be doing. But it's going to be interesting, right? Because they do focus a lot in that luxury space. And we've been talking about it. Luxury is always doing well. So you chase that dollar at the top and you're really chasing that high ADR in the middle class. They kind of have these brands that are starting not to get filled. So I'm curious about this play, but I'm sure they see something. What are you thinking on that?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Well, and also the article kind of went through it to explain that, yes, as we all have been talking about for months, I feel like almost a year now, luxury is going strong. So we know luxury is going strong. But there's also just been a consumer shift in general with economic uncertainty, with more people being able to work from wherever. We are seeing more people that are opting for longer stays, more of these mid-scale brands that work for families that are maybe they're doing road trips. And so there's absolutely a space for that. And especially, by the way, in the US market. So I know that this was very much geared around what they're seeing sort of in the US market. So it makes sense.
And what I like seeing too is that they're using their Hyatt Studios and how efficient they're trying to be to really kind of speed up and save costs on things. And so for listeners, it's kind of interesting. At their Hyatt Studios, they don't just start with renderings. They start talking to people on the ground first. Like general contractors said the ceiling height 8 feet 6 inches required custom cut lumber, so they suggested dropping it to the standard 8 feet and shaving time and money from every single build, saving owners money on that. And then corporate travelers they were interviewing from companies like Amazon and SpaceX liked an open closet concept, but said guests needed more drawer space, so they added more drawers to some of their concepts. And then talking to housekeepers and traveling nurses, they flagged hard to reach and dim areas of the bathrooms, prompting the team to swap out the shower fixtures and changing where the vanity lights were. So they're listening to their customers, really trying to figure out what will be best in these kind of mid-scale brands and how they can get them up as quick as possible. So I like that they're listening to the guests versus sitting in a boardroom. I think this is cool and that design looks awesome, and it not really being functional for what everybody needs in that space.
Yeah. It's great. Again, interesting shift that's happening. And it kind of makes sense. I'm a fan of Hyatt, and to see them kind of just to be more prevalent and have more options in different markets I think it's a great play.
I love it. And we get some new comments here. Lou saying classical YouTube. Yeah, from the opening. Yes. We got Vanessa saying, hello, you are very beautiful. I think that's to me, Sarah. So I'll take that
obviously.
one. Obviously. And then Paul, good morning from Colorado. Good to see you here, man.
You've got that morning glow. You're like a little bit later in the day than I am. Like you probably had a workout. You've been like,
I did actually.
See, I'm a very different human being when I have a workout before doing the show
on a Wednesday morning, Paul. Oh boy, we got to get Paul on here live. You got to see Paul's looking.
Yes.
He's got a big beard now. It's looking very manly.
Oh my gosh, we'll make that happen. All right, why don't we move on here to our next topic? United and Marriott are targeting travelers with ads. So United Airlines and Marriott are expanding advertising networks targeting travelers directly. Now, ads can appear on basically seatback screens, which, by the way, is always great. You've got a captive audience, apps, hotel TVs during trips. And travel companies are really seeing guests as sort of like high value audiences look, they're already traveling, so you're capturing the traveler while they're traveling. It kind of makes sense.
No, it's cool to see, right? They were saying just, I guess on an airline, I'm flipping through movies quick. I'm wondering how the ads show up while you're sitting there, but the Cayman Islands ran a advertisement program, and it drove 9,000 bookings, and it was directly related to the screens on United. So it's a clear win if you have a captured audience during that time. If you can get that many people to see your island and book something through there with a special offer, it's great. And then we talked about Marriott with the Bonvoy app. They want that to be the app where people start traveling. And so if you're involved anywhere around that space of that hotel and you throw up an ad, you're going to get, what would they say it was, 250 or 300 million people on the app now? You've got basically like the entire US, population looking at the app. You're definitely going to get some conversions. And that's also a great way to get in front of people. So very unique, interesting ways to think about it. So if you're going to pull up your app, I'm curious to see what you see.
Okay. So right now, I'm pulling up my app right now, and I happen to be at a Marriott property. And I mean, basically right now they're on this, they're kind of they're talking about points and things that you could get. So it's very much sort of still promoting the actual, let's see if there's anything. Yeah, the app. And experience Asia and Alaska by super yacht. So that's
cool.
There
you go.
Yeah. So there's, and then, and I do like this little section here that's destinations to explore. So they've got San Francisco, Philadelphia, Miami. Oh, okay. They know what's up. Chicago, the Maldives. One can go from Chicago to the Maldives, Munich, Punta Cana. So yeah, I mean,
very cool. See, people, this is what we call journalism right here. We can do the hard-hitting story. We find out. We actually use the stuff that we talk about here.
We do use this stuff. But again, I mean, it's strategic because I don't know. I mean, I just feel people are just continuing to travel more than ever. I'm definitely biased because the individuals that I have immediate access to are the ultra high net worth individuals, and they are not slowing down at all. I mean, I've got some clients that it's every other week. It's been a different destination. So, and then you've got others that are kind of saving up for one big trip, but it really isn't slowing down despite all the chaos that's happening in the world.
No, I can just tell you that in our hospitality management group at Tangy, we're raising prices every single day and people keep booking. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's interesting to see how it works. But
totally.
I'm curious for you listeners and viewers, if you're live right now, if you have the Marriott Bonvoy app and you log in, what do you see? Do you see any ads? Let us know, yes or no. I would love to see our other on the ground viewers as our reporters today.
Yes. So, which, by the way, you brought up an interesting point. Certainly, you've been raising rates and people are still booking, which goes into our next topic here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Did you like that? That was smooth. So Delta CEO says travel demand remains strong. And why is that? Despite rising jet fuel costs. So, I mean, for those, I know we talked about it last week. I've covered it on the Skift Daily Briefing. I mean, basically what we're kind of seeing is jet fuel costs are increasing, and that can increase prices by about 10%, 11%, which can put things into a very different budget. But despite that, people are still, they're still flying. They're still paying. And I think it was the first quarter or this quarter now. I think they've like made the most that they've ever done. There was something really interesting about that. I have to quickly pull it up in the article, but it's wild. Premium and international travel remain especially resilient. As somebody who's gone to Mexico, so basically Central America, Europe, and then South America.
Doing it. You're the one driving the business.
It's me. It's all me. You're welcome, Delta. But yeah, they're busy. They're full, and people are still going despite whatever the news is around the world, because I know that there's a lot of news too.
I just think that we got Lou. My Marriott app just pulled up a Taiwan ad. There you go, Lou. You're a journalist now. Congratulations. Good job letting us know.
Yes.
On the Delta news, like I'm curious to see. Like I went to go fill up my truck last night, and gas really did jump overnight.
Yeah. Oh, how much is it for you? Because you guys always have significantly lower than California.
I mean, look, a week ago it was like 3 something to fill up, and then last night was $4.79 for the same gallon. So at the same gas station.
What I would have. Well, now I have an electric car.
That's a giant jump percentage wise, and so that's going to catch up. I think very soon when you start looking to book your flights, you're going to start to see significant bumps in those rates. I didn't get to take a look this morning, but I'm flying multiple times over the next month and a half, and so I'm lucky I locked those in. But I'm sure the future trips I have to take are going to be way more.
Yeah,
and I just started thinking of all of that. But people are still booking, and I'm curious now too. People, I think after the pandemic, people realize like you need to travel, go experience things. I think we talked about this too. People are going that analog kind of world. They want to go travel, whether it's a short flight somewhere, go see a new city, go experience something new. We have influencers like Sarah Dandashy influencing us to go to Brazil. I think it's a lot of those things that kind of mix together where people are like, you know what? I'm going to go fly. I'm going to go live life and make things happen. I know I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like, all right, let's just start booking things, go on these trips, make these memories happen, because you never know when you can.
I'm laughing at Will Slickers in the background here because I was about to make some smart comment about being like, this is why I drive electric. But he said, don't worry, they'll catch up. They probably will. That's
and Lou saying he put on his journalist hat. You can go on LinkedIn now and put new job journalist. You got it.
Mean, yeah. It's I mean, being in Southern California for so long, I mean, we've had between $6.50 and $8 like
a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
Gallon for a long time, which is obviously not ideal, but yeah, it adds up.
It does. I felt that yesterday for the first time, really feeling I'm like, wow, it's almost double what I usually put in there. So
wait, I have to ask. If you remember, and this might show our age. It will. Do you remember how much you were paying for gas for a gallon when you first started driving? I do. And I was living in Atlanta, Georgia. So
$1 something, right? That's probably $1 something.
Oh, in Atlanta? Well, I remember it being like 85 cents a gallon.
I remember, yeah. Everything was cheap back in our day.
Oh my gosh. That makes me sound so much older than you.
You are.
No, I'm not. I'm a week younger. Anyway.
We lived before the internet existed.
We did. Oh my gosh.
In the 1900s.
Oh, true. Hilarious. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's move on to our next topic here. So this is wild. FAA is forcing flight reductions at Chicago O'Hare. So the FAA has ordered flight reductions for Chicago O'Hare to address congestion and delays. Airlines have to temporarily reduce schedules during peak travel periods. Basically, why is this happening? It's happening because of air traffic control shortages. This is a real deal. They were happening in Burbank Airport in Southern California. I don't know if you've heard of other ones, but yeah.
Well, I just know you were on a lot of airports. I don't know what you saw, but I know leaving Miami last night, my business partners for Baia, they couldn't get out. They had to figure out. They had multiple cancellations. It was a mix of PSA and weather and flights not making it, and it was a drama of all day trying to figure out just how to
Yeah.
get from Miami back to Texas. And so I started seeing things out of Austin, Texas, where they're from, where they were getting to the airport 4 hours early because the line was all the way out the door. And so I can only imagine you have to make sure, how are you going to get that many people through? You got to reduce these flights if you can't get people through. It's just going to be chaos.
And it's so weird because I've flown through multiple airports. I have Delta, and with Delta, they have something that's called touchless ID. So it's still part of pre-check, but I can just go through. I don't have to pull out an ID. They literally take a picture of me, and then they're like, welcome me through. I don't know what United has. American has a version of it. Mm-hmm. And so what the word on the street has been is that for the airlines that have that, you can get through very quickly. But when I did come back from Brazil, Sao Paulo to Atlanta, had to kind of go back through security, and there was none of that. And that line, I think we waited 25 minutes to get back in. And again, that was a night that there were a bunch of delays. So we had some breathing room, but yeah, right now it's wild how long it's taking.
Let's go, senators and congressmen. Let's make something happen here. You're affecting the real world. Let's get these budgets passed. And we don't talk politics here, but just get it together. And then we got David Turk asking, I got this. Don't worry. I'm taking Royal Caribbean Cruise. Guess who's coming with? My brother. Are cruise ports affected by this as well? They are not, but just get there early because Port of Miami is crazy right now because we have all the mega ships here during spring break. So you're going to have thousands of people getting to the port that day. So even though your check-in time is at, let's say, 2:30 p.m., try to get there at least an hour earlier because it's going to take a long time to get in.
It's interesting. There's a lot going on at the different ports, or just not even ports, but just like ports of entry is what I should say, points of entry. And yeah, you just have to build in that extra time. It's kind of crazy.
I see Lou saying he never travels same day, always a day in advance, which, if you can afford the cost, great. And sometimes, you have to fly in as an emergency to get there. So let's see.
Yeah. And, it's funny. So I very much had to be where I am in Orange County yesterday. I had to do it. And I was flying back from very deep in Brazil. I was deep in South America. And I had to go from Iguazu to Sao Paulo to Atlanta, then to Las Vegas, where I had to turn around and then come to Orange County, fly the next day. And that made me nervous. Because there wasn't much wiggle room. And then of course, the day before it's there's a crazy storm system. Mm-hmm. And they can't, we had flights that were 2.5 hours delayed. Ultimately for me, I wasn't that much. I landed maybe 30 minutes later than the original time, but basically my flight was so delayed and the flight before it was so delayed, I put myself on the earlier flight because I still could make it because the earlier flight ended up leaving when my original flight was leaving. So, but again,
that's tie all this together with the red strings. Where
totally, but I will say this. I got that notification while I was on the flight from Sao Paulo to Atlanta, opened up my app, rebooked myself on the flight, boom, 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 before I even got off of it. So if I cannot stress enough to people when, first of all, two things. A, choose an airline and stick with it. Be loyal because that will come and help you in times like these. I know I say this a lot, but it has changed the way that I fly entirely. Secondly, if they make sure that your stuff is on an app, because most of the apps, at least within the United States, are pretty user-friendly. And if you can rebook yourself while you're on the flight before you hit the ground, you're beating a good number of the people that are on that flight that are going to then touch down and be like, oh, I need to rebook. And that's when they call or go to a desk or whatever. So I feel so strongly about it because I've saved myself so many times and I'm already rebooked before I even get off the plane. So
so you have so many reps doing this, right? I hadn't thought about that. I probably would have got to landed. All right, I got to figure it out. Let me sit down, open my app, figure this out. Yeah.
Rebooked. It was crazy. So speaking of planes, trains, and no, only planes. Let's get to our unhinged travel story of the week. This is wild, and we have to get your thoughts on this. But why don't we go ahead and show the video? Let's cue the video.
Let's see if we can show the video.
All right. Let's see. Check this out.
I haven't seen this yet. What are we watching?
Oh, you'll see.
11-hour flight, but 5K run on the plane? Oh,
yeah.
What is this character doing?
This guy did 5Ks of movement.
I don't believe it. Robert says,
what?
60 minutes in the bathroom?
16 minutes? No,
60,
wait, dude.
60 minutes on his Strava app. All right, so.
Oh my God.
I don't know how I feel about that.
He's doing 5K on our episode right now.
Get this guy off. I don't like this guy. I'm not supporting him.
Can you imagine? He decided to do that. That's wild. Now, he had an 11-hour flight, but I mean, I don't know about you guys. Anytime I've been on a flight that's a longer, there's always a line of people needing to go to the bathroom.
Adam said this is something Sarah would do.
Hey, Adam Lieberman, you shush it. He's making fun of me. Adam, former fellow concierge of mine based in Vegas, buddy, who's making fun of me because even though I had like 7 hours at home, I still made a workout happen yesterday morning. But no, I would not do this. No way.
How is he in there? Maybe it was when everyone's sleeping, maybe, but there's a lot of people that got to make a pee-pee and they got to knock on the door and say, what's going on in there, man? You okay?
A lot of people got to make a pee-pee. That's wild to me. I mean, I just think of like, I've just been on multiple long haul flights that are 9 hours, 10 hours, almost 11 hours. There's no way that I could have been up for that long and doing that without completely disrupting. What are the flight attendants doing? This is crazy.
I think that's what my brain goes to is if I was like, for that airline, is like, who was on that flight? Who was the staff? Who didn't go check what was going on? What was going on? We need to retrain. You know, these things are out of control. That's where my operator brain goes to.
Will brought up in the background. How did he not make a lot of noise?
Listen, I'm sure a lot of stuff goes on in those bathrooms, but for an hour doing a 5K, that's pretty wild. You know, good for him to his commitment. He got his clout. I'm curious what the comments said on there. I'm sure it was very mixed.
It's crazy. Which, by the way, I think this is a good reminder as far as just airplane etiquette. There was another article that we were possibly going to share where this woman totally freaks out because somebody else reclined her seat.
Let's do this. Let's talk about this one now too. We're doing the airline show today.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just, I'm curious, Sarah. So you're on an airplane, you're in coach. Do you recline your chair or do you not recline your chair? What do you do?
Of course I recline my chair. Yeah. The person in front of me. Yeah, of course. And look, at the end of the day, that's how they're designed. And most likely the person in front of me recline. Normally it ends up being a domino effect, right? Because the person in front of you reclines. If you're still sitting straight up, that would deeply reduces it. So then you just recline and then you're like, okay, not so bad.
Yeah, I'd say the chair reclines. You can recline. But I also know it's getting tighter and tighter back there. I always feel a little bit bad when I do it. See, Lou's not recliner. He's a non-recliner. I'm curious about everyone else watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, on all of our streaming platforms. Are you a recliner or a non-recliner?
100% you can recline anywhere. The key is how you recline. So don't go boom. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. It's like if they have a hot coffee or water or something like that, that can be obviously very challenging, or like you could cause something to spill. That's not great. So I always try to be mindful. I actually try to do it before there's any sort of service so that most likely they won't have any open containers right behind me. So they're less likely to spill on themselves. And then I go slowly.
Yeah, it depends. I see Kat saying depends on how long the flight is. Yeah, I hear you too. But even then, it's
overnight flights, guys. Come on.
Well, overnight. I'm saying if you were flying over here to Miami, 3 hour, 5 hour, whatever your flight time is now, you're reclining, right?
Yeah.
All right. But a short flight.
Sure. I'm definitely
LA.
For sure.
All right. Recliners. Sure. We got recliners.
Actually, half and half. Sometimes I don't need it if it's during the day, and depending on the seat. But in general, in general, yeah, a little bit. I don't know that I recline all the way. I think the only time I recline all the way is when it's overnight. I kind of like to choose seats that are like the end of a section. I mean, I don't like the last seat of the plane, but like the end of a section. So then I'm not ideally not reclining into anybody.
Yeah,
but
well, I like Rebecca's comment, not personally, but she doesn't understand why they get upset. Yeah, people freak out. Like that video we don't have pulled up. Maybe we'll show next week. They were like slamming the person's chair up and down.
Yeah. For
Paul
sure.
Not to recline.
Okay, so what about windows? Should you have the windows open or closed?
Reclining immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right away, even before the stewardesses allow us.
Yeah.
Windows. Listen, if you pay for a window seat and you're flying above the clouds, you should be able to look out the window.
I get it. If it's nighttime or you're trying to if you're doing like an international flight and it's like, okay, they fed everybody's trying to go to sleep. Okay, I get that. I totally understand that. But yeah, on Monday I had a thing with this flight attendant. It was the daytime. It was basically 10 a.m. They were serving us lunch and my window was still open. I mean, everybody was awake because we were all eating and she was like, "Oh, can you close your window?" She was like, she did the whole thing. And I looked at her like, are you like, is it your first time on a plane? Like, what is that? It
sounds like she was partying the night before. She was partying the night before.
And I was like, yeah, I can't, you can use the overhead light. I was like, yeah, I just wanted some natural light. And then she got so mad at me when it came to her serving my food. She literally handed it. She was like, didn't even look at me. Like, I was just like, are you kidding me? By the way, the other flight attendants were perfectly nice. So
now Rebecca's saying, I once had a lady yell at me on a Lufthansa flight back from Italy because I reclined. I was in college and very confused. That's crazy. That's a long flight, Rebecca. I don't know where you live, but I just took that flight. That was a long one. And Paul, we're going to say this one for next one. Kids on a plane bring the discussion to the 300 level course of 101 flying here. Yes, I've got a lot of tips on that. And it's always a little rough, but don't let them run around wild. Rule number 1. I've had that on a flight where the kids are just running around like wild children. So
this is true.
I'm under control. All right, we have a lot here. We could keep going. We could make this an hour show. Maybe go on to another live stream of just talking about things on planes, trains,
airline etiquette. And then I have another one that we're going to have to bring up. So I'm going to put a pin in it with hotels and charging fees to deliver things to hotel rooms. That's another. That's crazy. So we'll talk about that later.
Yes. Well, we covered a lot today. Should we just wrap? Should we do our real-time recap? What should we do?
Why don't we do a quickie real-time recap?
Quick real-time recap. Where did I go this weekend? Why don't you start while I think what I got going on this week?
Okay,
you got a lot of cool stories to pull from.
Yeah, my real-time recap. I'm just going to do a shout out to Let's Go Iguazu, which is a tour company in Iguazu on the Brazilian side. They were great. They were the company that took us all around. We got to do bike tours, hiking, kayaking, jumping through waterfalls, all the things that we made amendments where we needed to make amendments. They were fantastic. And to me, it was this wonderful reminder, as we left, we gave them a hug and Bruna was our guide. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have a friend now in another country. And I think that's such a wonderful reminder of when we get to go travel. Despite all the crazy news that we're seeing in the world, when you actually get out there and you meet people, you're just reminded of how great other humans can really be and how you can make friends in all these places around the world. So shout out to them. They're amazing. If anybody wants to go to Iguazu Falls, hit me up. I will give you some pointers on what to do. Deal. So yeah, they were awesome.
All right, mine will be a little bit different because I've been visiting hotel coffee shops.
Yes.
Rating them. I'm going to try to do as many as I can. And the reason I'm teaching myself again what I like in hotel coffee shops is we build one. But I'm doing the rating on their coffee, their food, and the retail items because the hotel, the coffee shop, like what they have and you can bring back. So if anyone has any recommendations for South Florida hotel coffee shops they want me to check out, let me know here in the comments. And I'll go check it out. And you can follow on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And we'll be posting them all there.
Love it. Ooh, I'll think of some things and I'll share it with you. Anyway, well, this was a great show.
It was fun. It flew by.
Yeah. We're going to have to talk about more controversial topics like this.
I think so.
Hotel etiquette, all the etiquette.
I like the etiquette. So I think we should make that a segment.
Yeah, maybe. We
like
should.
a scenario. What do you do? Because we see we're split 50-50 with the comments here from the viewers and listeners. So I really like seeing everyone has a different mindset.
Yep.
Well, if you like this show, we talked about a lot of great things. Make sure to pause this, share it with a friend, because I'm sure they're going to enjoy it as much. If you haven't signed up for Skift, make sure to subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Just hit subscribe. It helps us. It helps the channel, and we get to do more fun things with you. And until next week, Sarah,
stay hospitable.
We did it.